Hi everyone, I'm Dom Griffin, I'm a film critic and you're watching the Armchair Auteur. This is an ongoing video series I do where we talk about new movies, old movies, screenplay analysis, television series reviews, that sort of thing. So if you like movies and you like movie adjacent popular culture and you want to see somebody pick those things apart, you're in the right place and you should consider subscribing. Long time no see. Today we are going to be reviewing Red Rocket, the new film from Sean Baker, an A24 mainstay that I saw like a month ago at this point, but I'm reviewing it now just because I've been very busy, and I'll talk about more of that at the end of the video if you care about that sort of thing, but I just want to get right down to it. We're going to start talking about this movie that is honestly one of my favorite films of the year. If you're unfamiliar with Sean Baker as a filmmaker, or somehow only know him as the creator of Greg the Bunny, he's been around the independent film scene for roughly 20 years, but didn't truly break through until 2015's Tangerine, an intimate tale about a trans sex worker shot on an iPhone 5S.
5S with the screen cracked.
It's an underrated picture, one with truly remarkable performances and a vivid, overachieving visual style given its budget and format. It's also a film that established the Sean Baker brand within A24's sphere of content. It's a film about underrepresented people working at the margins of society, but painted with a compassion and a sincerity that gives these hard luck stories an enchanting, indelible quality. 2017's The Florida Project expanded that aesthetic, moving from the iPhone to 35mm to tell the story of a 6-year-old girl living in a motel outside of Disney World with her mother, showing the tragic realities that exist right next to one of the biggest tourist destinations on Earth. This one took longer to grow on me because as beautiful as I found it, as charmed as I was by Willem Dafoe's moving performance, I couldn't help but shake the feeling that Baker was just making poverty porn, exploiting the inherent pathos of the lives he was creatively pillaging from in exchange for award season gravitas and clout. But subsequent viewings warmed me up to his approach, such that I was extremely excited for his newest outing, Red Rocket, a film that sees Simon Rex, yes, Dirt Nasty himself, receive the role of a lifetime as Mikey Saber, a washed-up porn star forced to return to his hometown in the hopes of rebuilding his broken life. And while previous Baker films have flawed protagonists being presented earnestly, Red Rocket's main character is largely irredeemable. He's a real, genuine, grade A piece of shit. Mikey Saber is one of the worst fucking characters I've seen on screen in years, but Simon Rex makes him so compelling to watch. Perhaps the easiest elevator pitch for Red Rocket is that it feels like Uncut Gems, but instead of the claustrophobic sprawl of New York City, it's got the faded memory of a town Texas vibe one would expect from a Wim Wenders film, with the general comedic tone and uncomfortable hilarity of an Eastbound and Down episode. There's also just like this little sliver of Abel Ferrara's King of New York.
Up, up, up.
Just like a soupçon of it. You're essentially watching a pathological liar with a big dick using his appendage, his charm, and his sharpened survival instinct to manipulate his estranged wife, her mother, a barely legal donut shop clerk, and a guy his wife used to babysit to get himself back on top. The guy rides into town in a bus with 20 bucks in his pocket and no luggage, thinking he's going to get back to LA and win more AVN awards. It's maybe the closest thing Sean Baker's ever made to an outright comedy. The 16mm cinematography and the gorgeous skyline scream Sundance Film Festival, but the actual mood of the piece has the inherent sleaze of really trashy reality television, exploring a similar space to another A24 flick released this year, Zola, but even more naturally capturing what's broken in our current society, in ways that are as tragic as they are absurdly comical. Because unlike my concerns about the exploitative nature of the Florida Project, the exploitation here is literally the point. This is a movie that feels so uniquely American and so uniquely just gross in a way that feels like, yeah, that's home, that's where we're all from. And it's really hard to shake once you've seen it, because like I said, it's very funny, but it's also very real in a way that is like icky. Much of the movie takes place with Mikey staying with his estranged wife and her mother, and every scene that takes place in that home has an episode of Divorce Court on in the background or other trashy daytime talk shows. Everyone in Mikey's sphere is living day to day, and they're struggling to find anything within their lives worth living. So every single character you meet is absolutely ripe for exploitation. Life for these people is so miserable. Any con man worth his salt, literally any grifter with even a little bit of skill, all the work is already done for them because these people are so willing to be sold in a dream. The movie heavily features this very gross relationship between Mikey and the young girl that works at the donut shop that he sells weed out of. But I was very fascinated by the way this particular relationship helps Baker to explore the way pornography has influenced this current generation of young people. How everything about modern popular culture has actually groomed this girl to be turned into a porn star long before she ever met this guy. Everything about the way we live and the images that are presented to people and the transactional nature of interactions and relationships, everything about this girl's world makes her the perfect candidate for this particular level of exploitation. And not just her, but a lot of young people. So these moments when they first start to like sleep together and they start to film themselves together, where he's giving her all these like pointers and tips about how much of a natural she is, how she already knows to look towards the camera, and she's already kind of like ready to become a porn star. And you know, that's influencer culture. That's so much of how social media works. Like that, so many of the things that would make a young person good at fucking on camera for money and titillation, that's like how everything works now. Like everything is pornography. Everything is just whoring yourself out for money or for fame. And it's interesting because it doesn't really hammer you over the head with those ideas. It doesn't feel like it's moralizing in any kind of way. It's just like, oh, this is an interesting observation to make. But the movie really fumbles when it starts to get too overt with its themes. The same way you hear divorce court in the background, you start to see images and footage of Donald Trump on the 2016 campaign trail, because this movie is sort of a light period piece and takes place before he was elected president, and it's obviously trying to draw parallels between the way Donald Trump is manipulating and using his voters to the way Mikey is manipulating and using the people in his life. And like at that point it becomes a little bit too like on the nose and kind of obvious, and I definitely roll my eyes a lot. But also because it sort of brings into sharp focus this irritating paradox about Sean Baker as a filmmaker. A couple weeks ago, there was some controversy on Twitter, on film Twitter, because someone went through Sean Baker's likes and saw that he had liked a tweet in favor of the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. And then people dug further into his likes and they saw tweets of him supporting Tulsi Gabbard and also tweets of him appearing to be really into resident hat-wearing doofus Tim Pool. We talk about problematic faves on this channel all the time. I always try to address when there is something notable about a filmmaker or an artist or an actor that I'm talking about that people might want to know if they choose to not watch or consume art from certain types of individuals who've made certain types of transgressions. But obviously, I know for a fact that I defend a lot of problematic people on this channel. I go to bat for Paul Schrader all the time, and he's a super weirdo. But something about these revelations really rubbed me the wrong way, in a way that I thought was weird because I've never been that invested in Sean Baker as a filmmaker to begin with. I think it's because the basis of why I'm drawn to Baker's films is the empathy he has for his characters, and the way even the worst villains are given a presentation where we can see their underlying humanity without ever feeling like their misdeeds are being normalized or glamorized. Watching his work now, knowing the sort of ideology he seems to subscribe to, makes me wonder if he has that same level of compassion for his fellow man, or if it's only reserved for their fictional counterparts he can exploit for creative gain. Red Rocket is still one of my favorite movies of the year. Top 5, arguably top 3. We'll get back to that. I definitely really like the movie, and I definitely think people should see it if for no other reason than that so we can collectively will an Oscar for Simon Rex into existence. It's a long shot, but weirder things have happened. But I don't believe I'll be as excited about future Sean Baker works as I was a couple of weeks before I saw these tweets. This for the record is why studios don't let Paul Schrader use his Facebook while he's promoting a movie. Sad but true. So again, I apologize for not releasing a video for the last couple of weeks. I've been very busy with work, and also it's for your consideration season, so I've been sent, I don't know, like 50 something screeners, and I've gone to a ton of screenings to see movies. The Washington Area Film Critics Association, the group I'm a part of, did our voting last weekend for our movies of the year. I'll put the list below in the description. Almost none of the winners are things I actually voted for. This is the first year where I'm like drastically apart from everyone else's consensus opinion, but some of those movies that were represented are cool, whatever. And but I've seen tons and tons of movies and I've not had time to actually make videos or anything about them. I have reviewed several for Looper, so I'll also put links to recent Looper reviews I've done in the description as well. Some pieces in there I'm very proud of. And it means that the rest of the month, basically every day or every other day, I'm gonna be putting out videos of all the stuff I've been watching lately. So if you liked this video, please get subscribed and put your notifications on, because there will be more. From now to the rest of the year, just going to be throwing stuff at you as much as I humanly possibly can. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, like I said, please subscribe. Plenty more hot videos coming your way. A couple of very anticipated movies I've got to see, you will see my takes on. And if you have any thoughts about Red Rocket, about Simon Rex's penis, about anything, you can put those in the comments below. I like talking to you guys. It's one of my favorite things. And yeah, also if you're looking for other video content from me, I did get to do a little guest spot on a big collab video that one of my favorite channels, Be Kind Rewind, did, called 12 Days of Actress. It's me and a bunch of other really cool YouTubers talking about some of our favorite performances. If you're looking for movies to watch that aren't exactly Christmas movies, if you want to see me talking about Pam Grier and Jackie Brown, I suggest you check out that video. All right, thank you guys again for watching. Hope everyone's doing well, staying safe, being good to yourselves and each other. I'll see you in the next video, which will be probably tomorrow. Bye.